Welcome back to Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. We want to go directly to the phones. We've got Councilman Jeff Griffith on the phone. Councilman, is it nice not to be Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith anymore?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We still do the same work. I just don't have to leave the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
That's Mr. Messingale's job.
Jeff, did you get a raise?
Dave, I didn't get a raise.
Oh, geez.
There's something wrong with that,
I'll
isn't
tell you guys are working too cheap.
there? you get what you pay for.
no.
Yeah. Well, what's the big news out of the meeting last night?
It was not a very long meeting. We did. I'll bring up some good news first that I thought was. We went over with the CFO of the city of Lubbock some bond refunding results, and so some really good savings with these super low interest rates. Some of the debt of the city got reestablished. You don't extend term. You still use the same term to pay that debt, but at a lower interest rate.
Well,
So
that's good
the
news.
savings is in millions. So really good news there. Also good news on the sales tax report. The year-end sales tax report, even through the pandemic, the city was up in sales tax.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so that's really good things that are happening.
One other positive thing that I saw in the news that I would love to hear your thoughts on is that it looks like Amazon is going to build a warehouse here. Have they come to the city council and talked to y'all about that yet?
Well, Matt, excuse my answer, but I cannot comment on that.
Oh, okay.
Please understand, I apologize that I cannot comment on that. And
In other words, they've probably
it's
come to the council, but you can't talk about what's been going on.
you can talk about it.
That's
I
fine.
can't comment.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, it's been
Thanks for
it's been
understanding.
reported. It's been reported, Jeff, that this is from KCBD.com. They've learned that an Arizona real estate developer has come, and I understand that you can't comment on it, but this is going to be a big deal for Lubbock. I would think it's the size of this thing, 278,000 square feet, $24 million warehouse near the Lubbock Airport. I suppose that's out there at the new warehouse district. But anyway.
So what are the negative things? You said those were the positive things. What's the bad things going on that y'all talked about last night?
Well, we really didn't have negatives. I mean, COVID is still a horrific situation with our hospital capacity. Our healthcare workers are taxed. We are doing everything we can, and I applaud them. But I mean, we are at definitely a serious crisis level with COVID. And, I've said this before, gentlemen, but these numbers are big. And when you look at them every day, guys, sometimes you have to take a step back and go, this isn't numbers. These are real lives. These are real people in our hospitals. These are real deaths that occurred in our community. These are real people and real families that are hurting. And so that's still front and center. And it needs to be for everybody in this community, for all the listeners, how serious this is, and to protect yourselves and your loved ones.
So, Councilman Griffith, one of the big things as far as COVID is concerned, we've got it seems more and more information is coming out about a vaccine. Has Lubbock set up a way to distribute the vaccines where they need to go?
It has been discussed. Obviously, we leave that to the medical professionals. Don't in my opinion, we don't politicize that. Obviously, healthcare workers, those frontline folks will get it first, and I know that the state will be highly involved with us on that.
Yeah.
The good news is it's coming to Lubbock. We believe soon. The governor gave us a good commitment on that.
Yeah, what were we talking in a matter of weeks or what?
Dave, I'd hate to reach out there that far. I think it is just a matter of weeks. I really do. But hope and pray it's just a matter of weeks. You know?
Well, I do too. Many of us do. The situation is with the situation as it is. Of course, I guess the county probably has more to do with that than the city. But you guys, well, I mean, what is the future if we run out of hospital beds and all that? Has the city addressed that issue, or
yes,
is that not in their purview?
Yes, the health department. Catherine Wells, our health department director, is on this, and there has been plans laid out along with our hospitals. The Dr. Cook, they have got plans in place. So I believe that we're as ready as we can be, but, you know, the numbers continue to alarm us.
Yeah. I think we were at a little over 30% on the hospital rate there, COVID rate for the hospitals.
Yes. And, Covenant opens a new facility southwest part of the city next week.
That's right off of Marcia Sharp, right?
Yes, in West 82nd. It's a dynamic new facility, not really designed for COVID, but for other procedures. So orthopedics being a primary, and surgical units. The neat thing is that that will take some pressure off as they ramp up that facility.
They'll be able to move. So in other words, it's not for COVID, but they'll be able to move some people from the main facility over.
Yes, or as new patients need, if you need a new hip or knee or other services, but obviously not COVID.
Yeah. All right. Councilman Griffith, we have to take a quick break. Can you hold on through the break and talk about the legislative agenda?
Of course. I'll get another cup of coffee. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. We'll be right back with Councilman Jeff Griffith. And we're back on the phones on News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO with Councilman Jeff Griffith, Councilman for Lubbock City, the Lubbock City Council. Councilman, one of the things that has been in the news recently, I think one of the things that y'all had talked about was the Lubbock legislative agenda. And would you tell us a little bit about what that's going to be as I guess in January they're going to have a new Texas legislation coming up?
Okay. First of all, as we get into this conversation, our legislative agenda is not just about Texas. It's also federally about the 117th Congress. It's a key one that I'll bring up that is obviously both is our designation from Highway 87 through Lubbock, continuation of Interstate 27 with proper design standards and funding. So obviously, with the help of Senator Perry at the state level, brought that forward in the state Senate, but Congressman Arrington federally, and his help in Washington, that's a strong charge for us to continue to march to push for Interstate 27 extension south. So it's not just, this isn't just Texas legislative matters, I might add. So
right.
The majority of them are, Matt. But some of them, obviously, we want to continue to push Austin and Washington for.
Yeah, absolutely. I-27 would be a big deal.
Yeah, and I think it will. I think we will succeed. It takes a number of years, as it did just with I-27 between Lubbock and Amarillo.
Yeah.
The way this works is we go through a number of initiatives that we feel like are very important that we will support. There's also initiatives that we oppose, but I-27 being a main one. Another big one that is so important to us is Lubbock Power and Light's efforts to transition to ERCOT, and that includes entering the competitive market. So we'll have retail electric provider choice.
Is there an ETA on that yet?
We're about really a year and a half to 2 years. Infrastructure is still being completed. So that's the biggest hurdle is that, but there's still some hurdles at the state level we need to address.
Yeah, and another one, I guess, is the Loop
88.
Mm-hmm.
We have over 7 miles of its funding, and on the south part. But again, to stay ahead of transportation needs, you never quit working that. And with TxDOT, there is going to be challenges futuristically on their budget because of the state revenue shortfalls. So, but you better be asking, and no offense, not let other Texas cities get in front of you.
Well, on top of that, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 sessions to get anything done anyway.
Yes, as you know. I mean, I-27, my gosh, we go back to Congressman Nagerbauer, Ports to Plains original initiative. So we're continuing that march. So, I mean, we're talking about decades, to the point.
Are there any? I was just going to say, are there any worries about the funding on the state level? Have y'all been told anything at all about what could be coming down the pipeline as far as budgeting?
Not exact. I know that they're still working through that, and obviously that's a huge process. When Comptroller Hager was here, we had discussions with him about it. The main thing is that we got to let them do their work, but we want to make sure we're front and center with transportation needs for the future. That is so important. As Lubbock continues to grow, Lubbock's not going to stop growing. During this pandemic, a lot of people have concerns, but Lubbock's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we want to stay in front of it. So that's you have to, if you don't ask, you may not receive kind of situation. So you always want to keep at it.
Yeah. And are you in touch with our state representatives? Have you sat down with them, Frullo and Burrows as well?
Not in a while. They know our position, but I'm sure there will be discussions. They're ramping up and getting busy, getting prepared for the session. But I know that others have had discussions with them, but myself personally, no, not in a while.
Yeah. Okay, and on the I-27 initiative, has there been any updates on that at all? Have we heard anything from the national level?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. Again, that upcoming 117th congressional session will, next year, I'm sure Congressman Arrington obviously is involved in that, but he has other senators and House of Representatives that are involved with him.
Yeah.
He's done a great job for us.
All right, Councilman Griffith, we ran out of time, but thank you so much for coming on and telling us about yesterday's council meeting.